Hello, Audrey Lindsay here with my May update. This is likely to be slightly shorter than usual because May has been very uneventful for me. I'm sorry to say, but c'est la vie. This is the life of an actor. Um, so it started very well because I was filming another vertical drama, which honestly I really enjoy them. I mean, they're very pressured and quite stressful and challenging. And one of the oddest things about them is that sitting around for ages and ages, and then you're suddenly summoned to do your bit, and then they go, "Great, thank you very much." Move on, and you're left thinking, but I'm sure I could have done that much, much better. I mean, I barely had time to think about that scene, but that is the nature of the beast. And the clips I've seen, they all look absolutely fine and delivering what people want. So that's all well and good. But then it all got a bit quiet. And during May, I had a couple of ouch moments, which were slightly painful. One of which was I was busily in another room doing some housework or something. And my husband had the television on, and I recognized the script. And I ran through, and it was indeed a commercial that I'd auditioned for. In fact, I was shortlisted for, but clearly I didn't get it because the two people on the screen, neither of them were me. I realized that when they say to you, the client went a different way, or we decided to take a different approach, that's probably true because the two people on the screen, it was a different age range. It was different to how I'd have played it. So that was fine, but it was still a little bit, ooh, that's what could have been floated past me. And the second ouch moment was one of the girls I was working with on the vertical drama, lovely girl. She's just shot a period piece. And of course, I immediately recognised the title because I was also offered a role in this. And I had to turn it down because the last day of filming, for which I was definitely required, was also the day I was flying off on holiday with my husband, which had all been pre-booked and I couldn't change it. And they were aware that I had this date I couldn't do, but I think they were hoping that I might change my plans. Well, I could have done, but I'd be divorced right now. So anyway, the girl I was working with, I saw some of the stills from it, and honestly, it looked lovely. And I felt, oh, I could have been in that. So I was a bit sad, and I just had to accept that I wasn't. And there's lots of acceptance in this game, but it still felt quite painful. And other than that, it's been honestly quiet for me because normally I do, a day a week. I try and squash all my self-tapes into a day if I can. It's not always possible, but at least a day where I'll just sort of set up the lights and do everything. But there have been so few opportunities in my age range that I've seen listed, and possibly I'm slightly more selective now, and I don't really want to do unpaid work, and I don't really want to do student films unless the script is great. And often, they get great scripts and great characters, and that's different. Oh, my light's slumping. So it's been a bit quiet, and it really brought home to me again that not having an agent means I just don't see a lot of the roles that are listed. So it's possible, there was a lovely role for an older lady in, some TV series playing the nosy neighbour or something that I just wouldn't know, and I can't put my hat in the ring for that, so that's a bit of a shame. However, the dearth of opportunities meant that when something did come along, which was a self-tape for a commercial at the beginning of this week, I got ever so excited. I mean, it was slightly elaborate anyway because it involved things like dancing, which I obviously can't do in my flat. However, I have the key to a hall nearby, which is to do with my voluntary life. So I snuck into the hall to do the dancing bit. And then, I got really carried away. I was adding soundtracks and editing it and learning how to do new things like compressing files and all that. And as I was doing all this, I thought, this isn't even probably what they're looking for or require, but it kept me so amused and distracted and gave me something really, really interesting to work on that I found it very, very worthwhile. So I've sent that off. Who knows? Probably resounding silence, but we live in hope. Other than that, well, my husband's been very excited by my lack of opportunity because it means I've been more available to him. And obviously, I still have my 2 days a week part time job. But in the other days when I've had nothing to do, we've been spending lots of time together, and we've started exploring little corners of London that we've never been to before. Even though we've lived here for 30 years, this it's so vast, there's still unknown areas. So we've been having a whale of a time doing that. That's been lots of fun. But that's it. I'm just going to. Oh, the one other thing I've decided to do in June is sign up for maybe a couple of classes. I'd like to do a screen acting class because I'm learning a lot on the hoof and from other actors, but I think it'd be quite nice to get a little bit of technique into my head around that. And just keep my hand in and busy and connect with other actors. So I'm doing a bit of research around that at the moment. So that's the end of the May update. I'm hoping June will have more to tell you about, but possibly it won't. Possibly it will have even less. We shall have to wait and see. But I wish everyone a very, very successful month ahead, and I'll see you at the end of June.